Hi everyone, Darren Hunter here.
And you've got Deniz, Yusuf as well.
We're from Inspire Growth Training. Today we're talking about the ingredients that makes a top performing BDM. Now, Deniz, today you sent me a meme and we'll create it for AGT, but there was, if you know Dwayne Johnson, the Rock, there's a picture of a real skinny Dwayne Johnson without any muscles, and then there's that big beefed up Dwayne Johnson with the muscles there, and the subline was me without coaching and me with coaching. And I think, Deniz, we would agree the difference, one of the big differences between a BDM, an average BDM, and a top BDM has a lot to do with coaching too, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You know, you look, there's always those absolutely top end, self-motivated, driven people that just want to be the best in their field. And we personally know some of those. You know, and examples, Natalie South, who spoke at our conference in 2019, you know, there's those, but they still attend training, as she does as well. But, you know, you've got to be self-motivated. You've got to be driven. You know, someone like The Rock, I mean, when that photo's taken and people will see that meme, he was popular. He was a top wrestler in that photo, but he wanted to be better. And obviously, look at him now. He's now one of the most sought-after actors worldwide.
So if you want to be signing up 20 to 30 doors or properties a month, depending you're in Australia or the United States, where they like to use the word doors, you've really got to be switched on. So let's just go through the 7 attributes. Now, firstly, they've got to be exceptional people or able to connect. Deniz, what's your feedback there?
Well, the feedback is you need to be able to connect with the people. Obviously, it's so important that you need to know what a potential landlord or an owner's pain points are. And if you're just going to go in there and do a sales pitch, they're going to be on the back foot. You need to be able to read people. You need to be able to connect with people before they speak with those landlords as well. You know, connecting, making pipelines. That's your strategic alliances, mortgage brokers, accountants, solicitors, whoever you're going to be dealing with. It's about being a people person with them so they feel entrusted to use you or push your services to their clients.
Yeah, correct. Okay, number 2, they've got to be self-motivated. Why is that important, Deniz?
Well, I mean, you know, you can attend training, but it doesn't mean that you're going to actually be motivated enough to turn up to and implement the training. Darren, you're a prime example. You throw leads at me, right? But I've got to be motivated to actually make those calls. So you've got to have that right motivation behind you. And most salespeople, which is like what a BDM is, they are generally motivated, whether it's money that's motivating them or they're about to go broke, whatever the case. You know, everyone's got their
success.
own.
You just want to get up, you're hungry, you've got to hit those phones, you love the thrill, turning a no into a yes, finding those opportunities that you wouldn't have found if you hadn't have hit the phones, all those sort of things.
Yeah, Darren, a good example of motivation for myself. I mean, I joined real estate because, you know, I fell into a job, you know, as most people would know. And then when I heard my opposition say, what would Deniz know? He's a fruito, he's only been in the game for 2 weeks. There was enough motivation to put a bomb up my backside and wipe every agency off the planet in my town, you know. So, you know, and the same thing happened in the training field for myself, as you know, as well. But, you know, give me the right motivation, then you plow through, and a good BDM can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, next one is having a positive attitude. Why is that important?
Well, I suppose, you know, you don't go into a home and say to an owner with the negative attitude of, oh, you know, you need to use us because if you don't, this is going to happen. They're not going to feel like they're going to want to use you. So you've got to have that positive mindset that you are the best that they have to use because you will get the results for them. You know, I don't know any coaches that have been successful in tearing the heads off their football, soccer, netball team in doing the negative. We hear all these motivational speakers about those positive speaks and talks and motivations that actually push people through. It's the same mindset.
Yep, no, that's correct. And sorry, I was just a bit distracted before. I'd actually lost the article on my phone and I had to go and recover it. So, okay.
That's cool. We're all human.
Yeah, they're always seeking continued development. So I really believe this is the difference between an average BDM that's just putting a few properties over the line each month, as opposed to one that does those 15, 20, 30 properties a month. What is personal development and why is it so important?
Well, personal development, obviously, if we're going to talk about it in the BDM side of things, it's going to BDM training. It's going to, BDM club, being an IGT member, being, watching the Inject series.
We've got the BDM Empower series as well online. I mean, we're not here to obviously self-promote either, Dennis, for IGT.
No, but just as examples.
But sales stuff as well, just personal, good sales stuff, getting involved with a really good sales trainer. There are some really good real estate sales trainers out there that can really train, but you've got to be dedicated to personal development. You've got to
do it.
I've got to get better than what I am now, and being dissatisfied with where you're at. That's
Darren,
one thing I've learned.
Let me add one thing. It's not just about our training and other people real estate training. It's about the self-development within yourself, your mental health. It's about your family. It's about everything. Sometimes the mentoring that we're doing, it's me having a discussion with somebody. They might have an issue in the workplace. It's got nothing to do with rent roll growth strategies, but it's us helping them overcome that so that they can, bring the best out in them. So it's being willing to learn. I mean, we're never at our best. One of the my favorite lines I used to say as BDM coach, Darren, I used to close a lot of my talks was, what's the difference between the Sydney Swans, the All Blacks, the Australian cricket team, etc.? Everyone would go, what? I'd say they still have coaches. They're the best in their field and they have got multiple coaches. Tiger Woods, how many coaches did he have? Multiple coaches. Some of the cyclists have upwards of 26 coaches. So it's always about that continued learning. We're never the best at our game.
Yeah, no, that's fine. My app has crashed again, so just hold on. Have you got the article there? What's the next point?
Let me bring it up.
That's crazy.
And technology is meant to be a favourite to us. And, Darren, I remember going to training.
I think it's coaching. You've got to have coaching.
Yeah, but you were one of the presenters at the coaching, that the training and that I used to go to, right? And I used to always say to you, what else can I learn? I want more. So it's not just about attending.
I remember getting those phone calls from you, and there wasn't much around with BDM training back then. So because it was property managers doing it. So no, that's fine.
That's right. So the next one is, having those sales skills. Well, there is a difference between property management and sales, and BDM. The property management is, you're managing the properties. Yes, you can go out and list, but a salesperson is motivated to get the sales, and the BDM is a salesperson on property management.
So they've got to have sales skills. I think they need to understand terminology. I mean, what's a pipeline, Dennis? They need to understand all of that. What's prospecting? How to do it? These are all key sales skills, like in property management, time management, conflict management. They're skills for a property manager. You've got to have good sales skills as well. Understand what it is to be working in the trade of a salesperson.
Once they answer the phone and somebody says, what are your fees? Or I'm thinking about renting my home out, you are now a salesperson. You are no longer a property manager. Your job is to educate the person at the other end to let you get to their property so you can carry out a presentation. If you can't get to the property, you can do a Zoom video meeting and meet with them face to face that way, but you are now pitching for the business. You are now negotiating on your skills. Your scripts and dialogues need to be on song, and a salesperson will be practicing these things, or a BDM as well. So, you need to be negotiating to get your highest fees. You need to negotiate. You need to understand what your points of differences are so you can get the highest possible fees as what you can.
Cool. All right, next one. Well presented, professional. Now, what's one of the golden rules when it comes to presentation?
Look, it's a tricky one. We're going to probably get some people upset. I mean, I never wore a suit, Darren, when I was a BDM working at Integrity Real Estate in Nowra. Would you believe I used to wear a cotton vest, just like I wear a vest when I'm on stage? You've got to look neat and tidy according to your marketplace. We all know that certain parts of Sydney that you won't get the job if you're not driving the right car. You know,
So
so
I'm wearing a polo shirt, and it's probably going to be quite suitable in a country town or your market. I guess, for the sake of time as well, in this video article, Dennis, is that who's your market? You just go that little bit better, and a little bit better presentation that meets your market, whoever that is.
Spot on. Yeah. Look, I went into a house once, Darren, and I had the tie on, I had my vest, and I'd recognized that, you know, it was actually, they were accountants, right? And I turned up to the house, and there's all these Harley Davidson motorbikes out front. And I went, you know what, if I'm walking in here in a suit, they're going to tear shreds off me. So the first thing I did is, hey guys, do you mind if I take the tie off? I had to undress to suit my environment. And they absolutely loved, because they didn't want to stand there with a guy in a suit telling him what to do. You know, so you've really got to suit your environment too.
All right, last one. Sound product knowledge. Well, that means understanding property management without having to be the property manager. How would you do that?
Well, you need to know every, you know, all the systems and procedures that within an office. So if you ever go into the door of an owner and they ask you, you know, how are you going to collect the rent? You need to know the systems and procedures of how the rent collections take place.
Or the eviction process. How long it takes, realistically. You know, everything that you get asked a question from an owner, you need to have a sound answer for.
Product knowledge. You know, when I was in LA about 6 months ago, I went into the Tesla shop, right? I walked in there just to get a selfie in front of the car, right? The salesman started telling me every stat about that vehicle. No wonder they got a high sale rate. Doesn't matter about the price. They are experts. If it was a Toyota guy trying to sell me the Tesla, he's not going to have that product knowledge, and he's not going to do as well.
But knowledge is going to give you confidence too. It gives you confidence, right?
Oh, you'll know your worth for sure. Absolutely.
And that's it. But so really, they're the 7 ingredients that makes a good top performing BDM, not just an average BDM. So reach out to us, Dennis. Also, where we got the BDM Club, where people can be online part of our BDM Club online group, keeping each other accountable, sharing strategies, and so forth. But thank you very much for your time.
Excellent. Thank you, Darren, and thank you everyone for listening.
Ciao.